Wakefield tried to kick a 40-20. It was going for a 40-20, and Jack Wellesby dives to save a 40-20, pats the ball back into the in goal, but because it's wet and slippy, he can't get up fast enough to beat the Wakefield chaser to the ball. I mean, you'd have thought just let it go out and trust your defence, which is an amazing goal line defence, to stop a poor goal line attack from scoring. But he took a chance and it didn't pay off. But he made up for it in the end, didn't he?
Yeah. Thankfully for him.
Golden point then, Sarah. I guess if it's raised as raising people talking about whether it does the game favours or not, what's your view on it?
So,
given that your side won the first ever Golden Point game in Super League in the regular season.
Yeah, I'm totally against it. I think a draw is a perfectly acceptable result. I would give each team 1 point, shake hands and say thank you very much. However, I think the thing that's really annoyed me about this is we're only talking about it because it's Wakefield, who are at the bottom of the table, against St Helens, who are at the top. We're talking about it because it's so tight between Wakefield and Toulouse, and potentially Warrington. But what everyone's forgetting is, as Tom pointed out, they won a Golden Point match earlier this season. So don't tell me that if they get relegated, it's because, the league's got it against them and this Golden Point rule, because they got 2 points against us and they got no points against Saints. And if both of those had been called a draw, they'd have got 2 points. So, yeah. So like, my point being, don't base it on this match. Don't make it about this match. This isn't the reason that Wakefield are going down if they go down. However, I don't like Golden Point as an outcome. I've got no problem with cup matches or whatever where we don't want to be having replays. But as a general thing, I just think, why can't we have a draw? If we say we're playing 80-minute matches, after 80 minutes, if both teams have scored the same number of points, it's a draw.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I like the excitement of, even though it's a drop goal contest most of the times, I enjoy it, but not when my team's involved. But yeah, so I'm on the other side of that. I don't mind Golden Point. I think it adds a bit of excitement to the finish of games. I find myself, if a game's going towards Golden Point, I'll find myself picking up my phone and putting the commentary on more likely than not. So it makes me put more attention on some games sometimes. Like your game with them earlier in the year, I tuned into the Golden Point on that one. But yeah, I actually listened to the whole of this game, so that it didn't apply to this game. Kalepi Tanganoa of Wakefield got a grade A dangerous contact charge, 1 match penalty notice. He did appeal it, but his appeal was unsuccessful. And we've talked about Jamie Shaw, haven't we? So that must mean he's done with FC.
Well, I don't know, because next season it's his testimonial. So I kind of feel like he's not going to willingly go, is he? So
yeah, especially if they've already planned stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
And I really feel for him, actually. Like, you and was it Alan talked about how actually, how he's been getting hung out to dry and seems to be viewed as the bad guy and responsible for costing us a lot of tries and stuff. Well, actually, yes, Jack Walker had a good game at Magic for us, but since then he's had 3 games where I think very often he's been out of position. He's dropped a lot of balls that, to me, a fullback should be taking. And
oh God, that one on Friday though, I don't know how anyone that would have took that one.
Yeah, but there've been plenty of others, and I just question why we felt the need to go out and get him when actually Jamie Shaw is a very good fullback himself.
Yeah, it does seem like it's not exactly a dramatic upgrade, is it?
No.
Yeah, it
so I
does seem
feel a bit sorry for him, and actually, so-called fans, some of the things that they've been saying about good riddance and all the rest of it. Hang on a minute, this is a guy who has given well, 8 very good years of service to the club. Let's treat him with a little bit of respect.
My favourite Jamie Shaw play ever, though, was when Josh Charnley chased him down in the cup final.
Oh, shut up. He was only a youngster.
Oh, I'm not criticising him. I'm crediting the defence. Right, okay. Do you want to take us through the standings then, Scoots?
So St Helens stay top on 34 points. They extend their lead to 6 points over Wigan and confirm their playoff berth.
Yeah, no one else has picked up on that, but Saints can't be caught by 7th place Hull KR now.
I've loads of people talking about it.
Oh, right, okay.
Wigan have 28 still, then Catalans are up to 3rd on 26 points, with Huddersfield 4th on 25. Castleford strengthened their playoff ambitions in 5th on 22 points. Salford entered the top 6 for the first time this year on points difference. They have 18 points along with Hull KR and Hull FC. Leeds are only just behind in 9th on 17 points. Warrington have 14 points. Toulouse apparently stay 22nd on points difference ahead of Wakefield. The sides are on 10 points.
22nd, I think you'll find.
Yeah, 22nd.
What a typo that is by me.
So there you go.
So, obviously it's getting interesting. We're getting towards the end of the season. We put out a few polls, and I'll be interested to get your take on these, Sarah. And this is where we can go back to that conversation we were just having about running. So we've covered the run-ins for the bottom side. So let's do that one first. Who will go down? Warrington, Toulouse, or Wakefield? 14% of people said Warrington because they wanted to take the piss out of Warrington. 20% of people said Toulouse, and 66% of people said Wakefield. So we talked a little bit about the run-ins. Both have got tough run-ins, Toulouse and Wakefield. Where's your thoughts lying at the moment for who will go down?
I'm finding it a really hard one to call. I think I'm edging just towards Toulouse going down.
Yeah, I think I am too. If they beat you on Friday, I think that's changes how I feel. But if they lose to you on Friday, that's them down. I think not them. It's not guaranteed. Obviously, there's lots of time to go. But I don't think they'll win enough games to stay up. Then.
Yeah.
I think they have to win. That's their most winnable home game remaining. They have to win that game, for me.
Yeah.
Do Cass make the top 6? They're now 4 points clear of Salford, Hull KR and Hull FC, and 5 points clear of Leeds, who are, let's face it, the realistic contenders for that last place. Warrington have an outside chance, but let's assume that they can't overcome all of those other sides above them to get into the top 6. But Castleford in 5th. Rob thinks they're looking up more than looking down. They're closer to 4th place than they are to 7th place now. Do you think that they make the top 6?
Yes.
Well, you're in the majority then, because 85% of people in the poll said yes, 15% of people said no. I mean, they've got a very winnable game against Wakefield, haven't they? Coming up on Friday in front of the Sky cameras. I'll have to remember to change the automatic tweets for that. And then they've got home games against Catalans and Salford in their remaining fixtures, and away games that look, winnable or potentially winnable against Warrington and Leeds as well. As they wrap things up. So I think you've got to say that they're certainly in pole position. Injuries is going to be a factor for them still, but they're going well, aren't they?
They seem to be at the moment, yeah.
Then banking on Castleford being in the top 6, only one other side can make it. There's 4 sides going for it: Salford, Hull KR, Hull FC and Leeds. Which of those 4 do you think is most likely to make the top 6? Not which do you want to make the top 6 the most, we know that. But most likely to.
I think I'd go with Leeds.
Yeah, well, 41% of people went with Leeds, 43% of people went with Salford, 8% each for Hull KR and Hull FC, so they seem to be the outsiders on this. I guess Hull KR, look at those injuries, that's a worry for them, and Hull FC, if you're reacting to recent form, you can't but think they're not going to make it. Recent form, this year and recent form for collapsing in the last 2 months of the season over recent seasons. So Salford, they've got St Helens coming up this week, and then they've got Leeds away, Huddersfield at home, Catalans away, Hull FC at home, and Castleford away, finishing up with Warrington at home. So within that, they obviously play a few games against sides above them, but they play a lot of games against sides around them too, to Salford, with Cass, Hull, and Leeds being in that fixture list.
Yeah.
Hull KR have, if it loads, it just wants to show me Salford still. Hull KR are away at Wigan this coming Thursday, which is going to be a tough game for them, especially with the squads they've put out. Then they've got a home game against Toulouse and a home game against Leeds. They would hope to win those, wouldn't they? Away against St Helens, and then away against Wakefield, finishing with a home game against Wigan and an away game against Hull FC. I think their fixture list has got, 3 winnable games in there. So I wouldn't count them out quite yet, but I don't know where they're going to be at fitness-wise. Squad where Hull have got Toulouse, which I think if they win that, then it starts to look very differently at their own 6 fixtures. They've got Toulouse twice and Wakefield, so that's in a way the easiest running.
Yeah.
And then Leeds to finish up have got Catalans away this weekend. Then they've got Salford, Hull KR, Warrington, Huddersfield, Catalans away again before the end of the year, and that's on the double-header weekend. And then they finish with a home game against Castleford. So I think that's quite a tricky run-in. They don't play any of the bottom 2 now in the run-in. They do have a game against Warrington. So, yeah. Leeds seem to have the momentum behind them, especially after that win over Wigan, but you've got to question as well that run-in.
And also, the Leeds, I don't know whether mentality's the right word, but, consistency.
But that's with all these teams, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying. Yeah, I really don't know. Having just gone through the fixtures, I'd say Hull KR, but when I look at their fitness issues, I'd say I'd count them out of it. And I think out of all those sides, the outstanding player is Brodie Croft.
Yeah.
And possibly the most consistent player is Mark Sneyd. So that leans me then more towards Salford. So I'll just edge Salford at the moment. Stat line of the week: Daryl Alfort's 4 tries, 10 tackle balls, 211 metres, 4 clean breaks. Fantastic outing for him against Hull. Who's your player of the week?
Who I saw somebody and I thought, oh, that's very good. I think I will go Brodie Croft, 2 tries, 5 tackle balls, and 146 metres. I think is pretty good.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought about this. Let's just say Harry Newman because everyone else is saying Harry Newman. Let's go with that one.
Equally, if you want a player from the other side of that match, Ollie Oshel-Bolt's, 6 tackle bus, 223 metres and 2 clean breaks, equally is very impressive.
Yeah, awesome, especially considering he was obviously struggling with the heat and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, definitely worthy of mention, Scoots there. Yes, good stuff. Okay, predictions. I was 4.
1 second. I want to, something I forgot to say in our match. Actually, a player that I don't really like is Paul McShane, but I actually thought that in the moments after Connor Wynn's second sin binning, when certain Castleford players clearly wanted to get it increased to a red card and Wynn was totally losing his head, McShane actually took him by the arm and led him away and was clearly speaking to him. And I thought that really shows a level of good sportsmanship and just general decent bloke. I'm an older, more mature player. Stop being an idiot.
Yeah. Nice to call out good sportsmanship, I think, because we have plenty of instances where we recognise poor sportsmanship these days. So
just wanted to say that.
In predictions, I was 4 out of 6. Alan was 5 out of 6. David stays top. I'm second, and Alan's got the yellow cap in third in the Super. You've dropped to fourth, Sarah. In the main Super, David's also top of that competition, so he's on fire this year. Yeah. Kyle Dawson, though,